Welcome back, friends, to the dating battle. Tonight, my guest host is Puna. So tonight's topic is a little bit different than the other topics we've discussed so far. I think we've just been discussing a lot of like really extreme, wild things. And this is kind of different too. But tonight our topic is dating older, younger, and younger. So whether it's you're dating older people or younger people. So what's your experience in dating, Puna?
So my experience, I am older. I'm not gonna say how old.
You don't have to, older. Please. You never ask a woman her age.
Exactly. But I tend to date quite younger men.
How much younger?
Like sometimes 10 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah. It just happens. It's not that I seek for it. It's
no, you don't just prowl. You're not a cougar.
I'm not. Even I try to go to places that are, age appropriate or like my age appropriate. But then I just always like the youngins just gravitate toward me. It's probably energy. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think it's because there are more single younger guys than there are older guys?
I do actually think that. I think New York City, for my experience, is definitely a lot younger crowd. I always try to figure out where are the older people hanging out that are not married. It's just really hard to find. So yes, younger men just seem to be more available. However, with that, there's also there's a whole bunch of younger women, in that mix of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting for me for dating because, the men are younger, the women are younger, but then some, they'll hit on me. They don't know my age until when I finally tell them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh my God. But then it becomes more of wait, wow, really? And then they're more intrigued and it's kind of they just want to check it off their list type of thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's like a checklist thing.
Yeah. I think
a
so.
A bucket list.
Yeah, they're
thing?
well, I've never been with someone.
Do they say that?
Yes. And then, or they'll be like, wow, your body, you're just so firm, and I didn't, I just can't believe that. Yeah, and they're I would think that you would look differently, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You do look very young.
Oh,
yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
Age is just a number.
It is. It
doesn't mean anything. I've dated older. Usually, I tend to date older, like 10 years, or I haven't dated somebody my own age since my first boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
And so now I'm kind of scaling it back. I don't want to fuck with no old heads.
Yeah.
I want to I feel 30 to 40, 5 years up, 5 years under would be good for me, you know? Because I feel after 40, a lot of people can be married or divorced with children. It's just a lot of baggage.
Yeah. For a while, I'm in the 40 bracket, so, therefore my perspective's changed. I don't have children, and that was a choice, but in my bracket, if there are older men, they've gone through divorce. I'm a divorcee, so, it's a little bit different for me. I think dating the younger people, for me, it makes me feel younger. It just
Why do you like it? Why do you like dating?
It's not that I like it. It just happens. But it does make me feel. It makes me feel beautiful because I'm wow, look at me,
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
And then it's and then the energy is just there, and I am a very active person, so I feel I mesh really well with younger men. We just keep on going and witty. I also, for career wise, I work with a lot of younger generation.
Okay.
So it just seems natural for me. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to date older men, and I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you dated somebody older than you?
The oldest would have been 62.
Okay.
But it wasn't date. I went on 3 dates with him. The guy was an interesting man. He was a very, very interesting man. you know, just kind of full of himself, a lot of insecurities.
Even at that age, you'd think that you would have it all figured out, but that's what I've learned. Like trying to date older men. Well, I stopped fucking around with young dudes or dudes my own age once I had like a player boyfriend, and I was like, let me try something different.
Yeah.
And I learned
player boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's scary.
We have an episode, Players. You gotta check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, I started dating older, and I've learned it doesn't mean that they're more mature, they're more willing to commit, or, you know, it's the same bullshit that you deal with younger men, you deal with older men too.
You know, ironically, I thought the same thing, like, oh, you know, if they're older in their 60s or 50s, like, they're going to be a lot more mature. There's no difference.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's fun. I don't know, like, you said you tend to date more older men, right? So what's that experience
usually
like?
tend to date older men. It's fine. I think
do they ask you to call them daddy?
No. Not yet. No, I mean, I've dated like two people who were significantly older than me. One much older, and then one 10 years older.
Yeah.
And I would say they were good relationships, but I felt like they weren't fully committed to me to bring it to the next level.
Right.
You know, and that's something that I would expect from an older person, that they've like sowed their oats, because I know I have. I've done some wild shit.
Right.
But I've gotten it out of my system, you know? Like, I've partied in New York and been on the scene since I was like a teenager.
Right.
So, you know, I've seen a lot of stuff, done a lot of stuff. And I've also tried, I mean, I've dated one person who was 2 years younger than me, and that worked. We had a good relationship. But he just didn't want to waste any more time, because I guess he felt I wasn't his person, and that's fine. I mean, how I handle breakups, at first I'm upset. Like, usually I don't get too upset, but then I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm over this. I don't spend too much time like moping around usually.
Yeah, same. It's like, it's life.
It's over. Once it's over, it's over for me.
Over.
I don't try to call you or text you. Like, once, like, for me, it takes a lot to turn me off, but once I'm turned off, and I'm a Virgo, like, we're very, like, anal retentive. So it's like, once something really triggers me, I'm like, okay, I've had enough. And like, we have a lot of pride. I have a lot of pride. So it's like, you know, I'm not going to deal with that. But I would say I've learned my lesson from dating younger guys. I met a guy when I was like 30, he was 21, and I wanted to say I fucked a young dude. Like, I was just kind of flattered, you know? He was so young and he was into me.
Right.
And so he like, you know, we hung out a couple times. I even cooked him chicken wings.
Oh my God.
And he kept calling me wifey, and I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
But he was a drug dealer. We're gonna delve into drug dealers too, dating drug dealers. But anyways, that's what he did. He was selling weed and other things, and he was like, you know, if you give me $1,000, I can flip it for you and make it you $3,000, and you don't have to do anything. Like, we'll sell everything for you. I'm like, that sounds like a great deal. You do all the legwork.
Right.
I make a profit. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
You know, and like, weed was just becoming you know, like legalized and stuff like that. And he basically took my money, and I never heard from him or saw him ever again.
Oh my God.
I even tried to go to the cops. Like, I was like on Fulton Street, and I went up to the cops, and I was just like, hey, I gave $1,000 to this guy. And they're like, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh my God. No.
So I've learned my lesson. Like, unless I'm like in my 40s or 50s, say I get married, divorced, and like I'm really established and I have lots of money, then maybe I would have like a trophy boyfriend, or
it's exactly what they are, trophy boyfriends.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't mind financing that. Like, I've had it done for me, and I'm a very generous person. Like, if I had it like that, and I could have like a hot blonde guy with like the abs, I would just change out the blondes like when they get to 28.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way. That's how I feel. They're like my trophy boyfriends. You know, they're just fun. They're just fun. Keep on moving.
And I'm sure they like that you're established and you can like
financially time for
financially-
BS either. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Because I feel like a lot of young
Yeah.
guys don't make money like they used to anymore. It's really hard, and that's the
It
problem
is.
I have dating guys my own age. Like, I would love to date a guy my own age, but I find just financially they're struggling, a lot of them.
yeah, it's a hard times right now.
It is really hard for a lot of people. Like,
Right.
I've come across those, like, really young guys who have a lot of money, but that's few and far in between.
Yeah.
You know, I think the majority of guys are really struggling. Like, I had one guy, I went online, he had 4 cats, mind you. He called me a gold digger because I wanted to go to a restaurant on our first date.
Oh my God. 4 cats and then restaurant on your first date and gold digger. Wow.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's like, that's really rude. That's an exception to the rule. You know, that's an asshole.
Yeah.
But, yeah, unless I was like well-to-do, I had my own business going, I had lots of money, I'm a millionaire, like I would have a young boyfriend any
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it is hard for the younger men, and I think, you know, part of dating an older woman is like having that stability. So,
Yeah.
but again, it's fun. I love my life. I love it. You know, I'm open for meeting men my age as well, but
What are
in the
you
meantime-
what are you looking for? What kind of man do you think you would want?
Oh my God, that's such a hard question. I mean, you know, we all think about like our dream person, right?
Right?
Like, you know, I feel like it just sounds so generic. Like, he has to be a good person, like a good human. He has to, you know, have like somewhat of a good job, right? Like, I want to be
Yeah.
for financial stability.
Yeah.
He has to be funny. Like,
Yeah, I
I
like
love
funny
funny guys.
too.
Like, I feel like I am so serious sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
even,
me
like,
too.
my profession.
Yeah.
So, like, having someone funny is
Yeah.
just like, I love that. Like, make me laugh. And someone athletic, like, that's really important to me
Athletic?
as well.
Really?
Yeah, like working out or just doing something active.
Are you athletic?
Yes, I go to the gym like every day. Like,
Wow.
I love it. You know, it's like just something fun to do.
Yeah.
So I think those are important things, but also just being respectful.
Yeah, I'm big on
Yeah.
respect, and I think the issue that I have most with most boyfriends that I feel is like the core issue is that they don't respect me, not even as a woman, but just as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you can be with somebody for so long and they have no idea who you are. Like my last 2 relationship, I would say one more so than other, the one prior, but like when he broke up with me, he was like, the one prior to my last relationship, he was like, "You're the rudest person I've ever met." And I'm like, dude, for me to be the rudest person you've ever met in your 30 years of living, I deserve a trophy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us,
thank
Poonam,
you.
and sharing your thoughts on dating.
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you.
in the porn industry, it's a big, older, younger, it's a whole category for that, so we had to cover it today.
Yeah.
And I hope you learned something from us sharing this advice on dating, and I hope to give a new perspective for you just to learn and date better. So keep dating, keep loving, keep learning, keep growing. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up and tune in next week. There you have it, the dating battle.